She was a Jedi Master who sat on the High Council. So who exactly is Yaddle and what's her story? The Kangaroos presents Star Wars Lore Episode 80, The Life of Yaddle. Yaddle was the same species as Yoda, which means her background is basically non-existent, so her homeworld and how she became a Jedi is unknown. Disclaimer aside, around 300 BBY, Jedi Knight Paul Van Cut and his Padawan Yaddle were sent to the planet Koba. This was to rid the planet of a warlord named Tulak, who subjected Koba to harsh conditions. The warlord may have been a madman with a hatred of the Jedi Order, but he was quite intelligent. He used his spies to ruin any chances of a resistance helping the two, and he ambushed the Jedi on arrival. Cut had tracked Tulak for decades after he murdered Paul Van's family. This made him closer to the dark side than any other Jedi since he wanted revenge. When the two Jedi were surrounded by the warlord's soldiers and slaves, Cut allowed his quest for revenge to cloud his judgment. He attempted to kill Tulak, which left an opening for the slaves. The Jedi Knight was killed and Len beheaded. This left his Padawan all alone against many enemies. Luckily, or unluckily, depending on how you look at it, Yaddle was not killed but was taken prisoner. Tulak had her held deep beneath the ground and often tortured the Jedi. Yaddle managed to withstand the warlord's interrogations and never told him when more Jedi would arrive on the planet. Frustrated, Tulak kept her as a hostage. Eventually, the warlord grew sick of Koba and made plans to leave the planet, leaving his marshals in control of Koba. Even though Tulak was leaving the world, he still had Yaddle imprisoned. Although Tulak grew to forget Cut's former Padawan, the people of Koba did not. She was treated just as badly as before, if not worse, and this lasted for over a century. When food supplies ran low, the planet's people forgot about Yaddle as they only focused on their survival. Her existence slowly became stuff of legend, and although some gave her food like a ritual, she relied on the Force for survival. Because she was stuck in a pit for a pretty long time, she had plenty of time to sit and reflect. Yaddle thought about the lessons her master taught her. This helped her embrace and achieve unity with the Force. Over the decades, Yaddle believed she could never escape and so came to peace with herself. When Koba was hit with devastating earthquakes, Yaddle's prison was damaged, which was a good thing. For the first time in what seemed like forever, she could see sunlight and was able to escape. Her happiness was soon disrupted by the realization of all the pain and suffering around her, following the aftermath of the earthquakes. The Jedi felt great sympathy for Koba's people, even though some of them were her jailers. Yaddle helped the people as much as she could and even rejected an offer to return to Coruscant's Jedi Temple to continue her training. She maintained that she'd only return to the temple after her work on Koba was finished. The work was difficult, but Yaddle's dedication and spirit inspired the planet's people to rebuild their broken world. The Jedi became the people of Koba's saviour, however, she refused to accept any reward for it. In addition, Yaddle worked with the planet's children, teaching them all that she learned as a Jedi Padawan. The son of Tulak, Kalut, which is totally just Tulak backwards, had filled his father's boots as a warlord. He made his way to Koba to claim his inheritance. Kalut wanted to take anything of worth from the devastated planet, and then leave it for good. He destroyed much of what was rebuilt and stole a lot from the Kobans. Although the people were too weak to fight back, Yaddle was not. Eventually the Jedi dueled Kalut using only her wooden stick. She defeated the warlord and set the people of Koba free. When Yaddle returned to the Jedi Temple, the Council recognized she had achieved unity with the Force, and so told her she did not need to continue with her training. Even though she was still a Padawan, the council wanted to promote Yaddle to the rank of Jedi Master and offer her a seat on the council. Yoda was the only council member against this proposition, as he believed it went against the Jedi Code too much. And hey, maybe Yoda was jealous or worried. New chick on the block, same species as Yoda, maybe a replacement. Anyway, he decided to grant her the promotion after learning more about Yaddle's story and seeing a glimpse into her future. After becoming a Jedi Master, Yaddle trained many Padawans, including Impata Geos Brand and Oppo Rancisis. In addition to being a trainer, the Jedi Master became the head of the Librarians' Assembly. She worked alongside the Curator to maintain the Jedi Temple's collection of books, holocrons, scrolls, and Sith artifacts. With her leadership, the Assembly increased their collections and made many fundamental discoveries. When Yaddle was not at the Jedi Temple, she stayed at Camparis's Jedi Training Center, offering the initiates who did not live at the temple full-time important lessons. In 26 BBY, Yaddle was dispatched to Mawan alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi and his Padawan Anakin Skywalker. The Jedi's objective was to restore peace on the planet that was in chaos. Yaddle sacrificed herself to save the planet's people. She used the Force to absorb a bioweapon launched by Granta Omega, which instantly killed her. She died an honourable death at the tender age of 483. She was the last Jedi Council member to die before the Clone Wars. Her seat was filled by Shaak Ti. To learn more about Yaddle's personality and abilities, click the link on screen or the one in the description. Now it's time for this week's question. How influential do you think Yaddle would have been if she lived on? For example, do you think she could have been as great as Yoda? Let me know in the comments below. I will be going on a short holiday next week, but don't worry, there still will be a lore video coming out. It just meant I had to make it in advance, meaning voting this week would be pretty pointless, but because I'm wide, there will be 2 wildcard votes. And for more Star Wars lore, keep locked here to the Kangaroo's End. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Here is the top 5 iconic Star Wars space vehicles.